All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be re-exploring yellow jewelry Bonney. That's right guys, from OP-13. So let's go ahead and hop into this. Last time that I visited, or that I messed with this leader, we did not even have all the cards spoiled and put on the sim. So we're going to be updating the list we're going to be talking about in today's video. Okay? So pretty standard layout. First things first, we're going to check out the deck list. After that, we got 5 games to go over on the sim, and then we're going to finish up the video by recapping, and I'll tell you guys what I think about the leader moving forward. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comments section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comments section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Alright guys, let's go and break down this deck list, starting off with the leader. Jewelry Bonney is a 5,000 power, 5 life, egghead, Bonney Pirates type leader, mono yellow, with the effect your turn once per turn. This effect can be activated when you play a character with a trigger. Give up to 2 Rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. Okay, so we're going to go through the entire deck list now. Be sure to pause and read what each one of these cards does if you don't already know. Okay? So we're running 4 of the new 1-cost OP-13 Searcher Lilith, and then we're running 4 of the 3-cost OP-07 Searcher Lilith. Okay, we'll talk more about these in a minute. Running 4 of the 3-cost Jewelry Bonney, 3 Sanji. This is the blocker from all the way back in OP-04. Running 4 of the of Kikanojo, 3 Neko Mamushi, 4 Frankie, 4 Basil Hawkins, 4 Satori, 4 Nami, 3 Nico Robin, 3 Stussy, 2 Eustace Captain Kidd, and 4 Jewelry Bonney, the 9-cost. Okay, so the last time we went over this deck, guys, I'm going to bring that up on the screen now. I don't have the deck saved. I had to actually bring up the previous video. Notice what's going on here, guys. We're literally missing, in that one, we did not have access to the 7-cost Stussy or the 1-cost Lilith Searcher. Okay, so this was the previous list here, but here's the thing. Now that we have those cards, I was able to get rid of Dureshi because we have a Searcher to take its place. That's also a character and a 1K counter. Now, Dureshi is still very good in this deck. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'll try to talk about that more. I'll try to talk about that a little bit more later. But I do like having the turn 1 play. That's what's really nice about the new 1-cost Lilith Searcher over something like Dureshi, right? Because Dureshi costs 3, so we actually want to play out our 3-cost Lilith on turn 2, right? Especially going first. So we have the new 1-cost Lilith to just totally upgrade the list from last time, replacing Dureshi. And then we have the new 7-cost Stussy to replace Boa Hancock. I was not having a lot of success with this card. That's not to say the card's bad. And to be honest, Boa Hancock with Lilith is probably not even that terrible, right? Because you're going to be able to play out the new Stussy card. Let's go back to the list now. You can actually play this card out and cheat out a 5-cost character. And notice this. It just says, on play, if your leader has the egghead type, play up to 1 character card with a cost of 5 or less with a trigger from your hand. So the card you play out does not have to be a egghead card. Your leader just has to be has to be egghead just to play this out, or just to use this effect. And this is a 7-cost, 7,000 power blocker. So we can still run the 5-cost, 7K, what's her name, Boa Hancock in here if we want to. But I'm just not a huge fan of the effect, guys. I'm just trying to be honest. I don't think it's terrible. I just don't prefer it. The trigger effect is very nice. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. That is solid. But the on-play effect is you may trash 1 card with a trigger from your hand. So we're losing a card in our hand, and we're not removing one of our opponent's characters. We're just stopping an attack for the turn. It has up to one of your opponent's rested leader or characters other than Luffy cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's not that the effect is bad. I think I just like what's going on here a little bit better. And who knows, over time, if I do more testing, maybe I'll bring this card back. But other than that, this new so back to the cards we were adding to the deck. We added this Lilith, the 1-cost Searcher from OP-13, and the 7-cost Stussy. So this Lilith is really incredible. It's a 1-cost 2,000 power 1K counter Searcher, very standard stat line for a Searcher, but it has trigger, activate this card's on play effect, and the on play effect is look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with a trigger other than Lilith, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is a really strong, like a generically strong card for yellow, because this is going to let us search up any card with a trigger. Notice it's not locked in any way. The only cards that we can't even search up in this deck is cards named Lilith, of course, the 2 searchers we have, and then these other 5 cards here, the 2 Eustace Kids and the 3 Stussies. That's it. Everything else is searchable in the deck by Lilith, and it's a top 4 search. The 3-cost Lilith is very good as well, but this card can only search up Egghead type cards, other, not named Lilith. So we can still search up quite a bit. However, we won't be able to search up like this Eustace Captain Kidd, this Nico Robin, this Nami, this Satori, this Basil Hawkins, or this Sanji, or this Kikanojo, this Nekomamushi. This card actually loses quite a bit of value with the way that I'm running it here. So that does, there probably is some reason to include this, the Boa Hancock back into the deck, because it's well, actually, this wouldn't be searchable either. So never mind, guys. We'll have to see. One thing we'll have to really consider is this Lilith even worth running? And honestly, let me say this right now, guys. I think it is worth running, because this is the #1 card we're searching for, right? This Jory Bonney is the #1 card we're searching for in the entire deck. We want to be able to slam this down right away, right on our 9 Dawn or 10 Dawn turn. So that's kind of the logic behind it, at least for me. Okay, what else? I think, actually, I'm sorry, the Lilith can search up this Nami, guys. My apologies. This is an Egghead. So this Bonney is Egghead, this Frankie is Egghead, this Nami is, and then Stussy is, and then this Jory Bonney, of course. So it does have a decent amount of targets. Let's count it up real quick. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16, about 19 targets, which is really not that bad. I think whenever you're doing a top 5 search, having 18 as a minimum is the way to go. But having 19, that's one over that, so it should be fine. And again, even if it doesn't hit, think of it like this, guys. Say you do a top 5 search and you don't hit something you want. Well, okay, now you're 5 cards closer to getting to this 9-cost Jory Bonney. Okay, so really good stuff there. Everything else is pretty straightforward. I think, let me see, let me bring up the list again. I don't think I was, I was not running the 8-cost Eustace Kidd, and I have added that since. I was just testing it for today's video. The card's okay. It's not bad. My logic was this. Hear me out, guys. I wanted to have a good... So let me say this. I play Jory Bonney as a tempo-style Bruiser deck where I'm just curving out. I'm going right on curve. So if that's the case, I need a pretty good even or odd curve. So the odd curve is completely insane, right? Which I will say now I'm starting to lean more towards having Boa in the deck because that could make it even better. But listen to this odd curve. Turn 1 Lilith, turn 2 Lilith, turn 3, or even Bonney, by the way, the 3-cost Bonney, into turn 3 Nami, KOing a character, into turn 5 Stussy, into turns... did I just mess that up, guys? Hang on, I messed that up so bad. Turn 1 Lilith, turn 2 Lilith, turn 3 Nami, turn 4 Stussy, into turn 5 Jory Bonney. There we go. Into turn 5 9-cost Jory Bonney. And of course, we can play any of those even number cards, you know, and still have a Dawn for the leader. So, what else? So that's going first. Going second, we don't really have a great turn 1 play other than just playing out Lilith. But then going into our 4 Dawn turn, we have access to Kikanojo or Basil Hawkins. Either one is completely fine to play out. So we go turn 1 Lilith, turn 2 Kikanojo / Basil Hawkins, into turn 3 Nico Robin, into turn 4 Eustace Captain Kidd, into turn 5 Jory Bonney. So that's kind of the logic here. That's the you know, the blueprint, what we're going off of. The deck can definitely use some adjustments. So if you guys can think of anything really solid, if you've been having any success with this leader, by all means tell me what you think we should add to improve this list. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and pop over to the sim, and we will see this deck in action. All right, guys, first game up we have against Imu. Okay, I tried to get some pretty decent matchups for today. We've got 2 games against Imu to start it off with here, and then we have a game versus Red Purple Roger, and then a game versus Red Blue Ace, and then we got a bonus game against Blue Yellow Ace. Just a fun game at the end. Okay, so let's get the volume off. Let's get the speed on 2x, and here we go. So I was explaining earlier that we pretty much can go first or second with a pretty decent way, right? Our curve works good going first or second. However, I think we always want to go second against Imu. I think every deck will always want to go second against Imu. Now, okay, pause. Hang on. Check this out, guys. It looks like my opponent has tried since I think I won the dice roll and I chose to go second. So notice the stage that they chose, guys. That is the 1-cost Holy Land Mary Joie stage. That is going to reduce the cost of the Celestial Dragons characters that cost 2 or more, or 3 or more. I can't remember, 2 or more, or 3 or more. It'll make them cost 1 less. Okay, so very interesting, and I think this probably is the way to play against whatever deck you're going against when they force you to go first as Imu. Okay, but let's see what happens here. So they go first, they play out the Saint Shalria, they fix their hand, and then they trash that card from the board with Imu's effect to draw another card. We just go ahead and pass the turn on turn 1 because we have literally nothing to play out on turn 1. We did not get the 1-cost Searcher. Okay, they're going to play out St. J. Garcia Saturn on turn 2 on 3 Dawn because of that stage. That is really, really nice. Okay, we're going to play out Kikanojo. We're going to swing for 7, and now they're at 3 life. So now if they KO my Kikanojo, I actually get to draw a card here, right? Or excuse me, not draw a card. I'll get to gain a life, rather. Okay, here we go. Let's see what they choose to do. They play out St. Shalria, another St. Shalria to fix their hand. They're probably going to trash that card right away again and draw. Yep, there you go, drawing more cards. And now see what they have next for us. They still have 4 Dawn left. They're going to swing for 5. We're going to take that. We're going to go ahead and not use the Nami effect. I think they already have more than 7 cards in their trash. They're going to swing in, and we get a 9-cost Bonney for later in our hand. Very nice. Okay, here we go. We're on a 6 Dawn turn. We're going to play out Bonney, the 3-cost. We're going to go 7 into 5. Does he want to give me this? It's probably smart to just let this go. Okay, he gives me a 2K, 1K. We're not complaining. Now we're going to go 9 into it. He gives me the blocker to draw a card on KO. Seems good. Cool. So we got 1 character off the board. We got 2 cards out of their hand. Seems good. All right, here we go. They're on their 7 Dawn turn now. They're going to go ahead and swing for 5. We are going to 1K counter out of this one. No reason to take too many hits in a greedy way because we're not running any life gain in this yellow deck, okay? They're going to swing for 5. We're going to give them another 1K counter. It's really easy to get out of that. They're going to swing for 5, going -2 to my Kikanojo, and we go ahead and take that hit. And what just happened there? Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let's see what just happened there. So they swing for 5. Basil Hawkins, so I get a Basil Hawkins trigger. I'm going to use that to draw 2 trash 1, getting rid of the Nekomamushi. Now, one thing I have to mention is Basil Hawkins is actually very good into Imu because they don't want to trash life cards. So Basil Hawkins and Eustace Kid are actually extremely, extremely good into Imu. And I think I could have played this game a little bit better, but we're still on a very good course here to keep up the tempo. Because we have 1 more turn before they can use their entire 10-cost effect. Okay, we're going to play out the Stussy, cheating out the Nami. We're going to go ahead and trash the Nekomamushi to KO their St. Charlos. And now we're going to start going into their board. 6 into this character. Okay, let's see if they choose to save it. I think they have a slight mess up here, guys. They do a 2K counter, and watch this, I swing for 7. And they use the 1-cost event that is a 3K for a leader only. That was a slight play mistake. It happens. Now, watch this, guys. This was an interesting turn. I'm not sure I agree with the play here, but I don't know what's in their hand. They might not have had any other options in their hand. So they're going to swing for 5 into 4. I'm going to 2K counter out because I want to save that Jory Bonney. Okay, now they play out the 5 Elders. Okay, they play out 5 Elders, and they're using the 1-cost stage. So it was a 9-cost character instead of a 10-cost character. Now they're not even going to swing with the St. J. Garcia Saturn because I could just block it with Stussy. Okay, well now I'm going to play Jory Bonney. They're going to lose a card from their life. Okay, this is very important that we actually talk about this. Hang on, guys. Sequencing matters in the game of One Piece, guys. Watch what just happened. I rewinded it. Now watch this, okay? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach a Dawn to Jory Bonney. Then we're going to play out the 9-cost Bonney, and that activates pause. Remember, the 9-cost Bonney takes the top card of their life and puts it into their hand, right? Okay, well, we just took one of their life cards. We get to do a draw 2 trash 1 with the 3-cost Jory Bonney. Okay, then we get to attach 2 Dawn to one of our characters or leader with the effect of our leader, right? So now we attach 2 Dawn to our leader with that effect. And guys, this is just a nightmare. They lost 1 life they did not think they were going to. And now we're going to swing for 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 10. This game is over. Okay, so just wanted to show one game against Imu where they're running the 1-cost stage. Now we're going to watch a game versus Imu with them running the 7-cost stage. Okay? And I was very surprised to see anyone run the 1-cost stage. I feel like not many people are doing that right now, but hey, here we are. So now we have a game versus the stage. Now let me say this real quick right away. Excuse me. They're still going first. I think I won the dice roll and I'm going second. Let me just be brutally honest with everyone right now. When Imu is going second, that is rough. Okay, guys? When Imu gets to go second, it is a very uphill battle. If you can win the dice roll against Imu, I feel like you've won half the battle for the most part, right? So now you just have to, take it home from there. Okay, so we got to go second here. That is massively to our benefit. Okay, so they play out a Saint Sharia. They're going to use the effect of the leader to trash that after fixing their hand, filling up their trash, and fixing their hand. Again, we have no one-cost play. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Okay, they're going to play out another Saint Sharia, and these are two different opponents, guys. These were not the same opponents. Okay, so here we go. They play out the Saint Sharia, trashing a card from hand. They're probably going to trash the Saint Sharia as well. That way they can draw another card with the leader effect. They're going to swing for 5. I think we're probably going to counter out of this with the Neko Mamushi. Yep, and they're going to use the one-cost Searcher event here. They're just fixing their hand. They're filling up their trash. This is really good for my opponent so far. Okay, we're going to play out the Basil Hawkins, attaching 2 Dawn to my leader. We're swinging for 7 into 5. They use a one-cost 3K. Seems good. They're still at 4 life. Basil Hawkins, guys. I think if you're trying to main Jory Bonney, I think Basil Hawkins and that card Nico Robin and Eustace Kidd. That might be the answer, the best answer we have at least against Imu. Okay, and going second, of course. That's going to help the most. So they play out Saturn, then they play out St. Charlos. I'm going to play out the Nico Robin here. I'm swinging for 5. So I burned a life with Nico Robin. I'm swinging for 5 with Basil Hawkins. I'm swinging for 7. They take that. They do not use the St. Charlos there. Okay. Let's see. They're probably trying to fix their hand. They're probably trying to find certain cards. But I believe I've already checked their trash. They already have a 10-cost 5 Elders in their trash. So that means they should have one in their hand. They swing for 5. I take it. I do a cycle with Frankie. And then they swing for 5 more. I 1K counter out with Sanji. Pause. We have to talk about something real quick. That's another thing to consider, guys. That 5, the 4-cost Sanji in this matchup doesn't really exist, right? So understand, whenever they start doing their 10-cost looping, they're going to KO your little 5-cost and lower blockers every single time that they have to, okay? So that Sanji is actually just a 1K counter in this matchup, or at least it's at least a trigger body as well. Okay, here we go. So they play out double Mercury. We're going to go 7 into 5. They're probably going to give me the 2-cost blocker. They do. I think that was the right play. But I think we had a slight play mistake here, guys. I think we could have just swung 6 into the Saturn and not worry about the 7K attack. There's no reason to do that. So we're going to swing for 5. They block it, swing for 7. They're going to block it. They just drew 2 cards and protected their character. See, if we had done it the other way around, we could have established another Basil Hawkins on the board. But Lilith is not bad either, and we have another 9-cost now in our hand for next turn. Okay, so our board is pretty decent, and they're only on a 9 Dawn turn. They're actually at a very critical point in the game where they have to try to survive next turn against me with enough life to establish their 10-cost their 10-cost Elders play. So here we go. So they're going to go ahead and use the Mars to KO my Lilith. They don't want to KO my Kikanojo because I gain a life. They can't kill the Nico Robin, and they can't. And if they get rid of the Basil Hawkins, they lose a life. Okay, they're going to go 6 into 6. I kind of want to save this, guys. I think we're going to give them a 1K counter here from the Basil Hawkins. And then they're going to 5 at life. I think I might take this one, guys, to try to get a trigger body. That's okay. We did not get one. That could have been very punishing to my opponent if I had gotten a Kikanojo or a Neko Mamushi or something. Okay, so we swing 5 into 5. They just let it go right away, which was a very intelligent decision. We're going to go 6 and another 6, and then we're going to go 7 and then 11. Okay, here we go. Playing out the Bonney, eating up their last life there. We're swinging in for 7. They have 1 Dawn open. This will probably be a 1-cost event. And then we're going to swing for 11. Okay, they end up blocking out of that. We play out we swing for 10. Then we play out the Lilith. I was trying to find a 2K counter, but that's okay. We found a 1K counter to replace the Lilith in hand. Okay, so I'm about to inspect their trash here, guys, because I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why have they not played out the 10-cost Elders? Because notice right here, guys, they have a 10-cost Elders in their trash. So that's, I mean, I saw them do that much earlier in the game, so I know they have a 10-cost in hand. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. I think they should have definitely played out the 10-cost. Let's actually talk about this turn real quick, guys. Their only chance right now is to play out the 10-cost Elders card, which we'll see at the end of the video. They definitely have. They get one in their hand. Maybe it was their last life card. I don't know. Whatever the case is, though, their only chances to play out the 10-cost character here and you know, filling out their board like that. And let's talk about what that would have done. Okay, they'll only realistically be able to get rid of 2 characters, right? If they get rid of Kikinojo, I gain a life. If they get rid of Basil Hawkins, they lose a life. So they're probably not going for Basil Hawkins. That's just too risky right now. So they'll probably get rid of Kikinojo, giving me a life, and then they'll swing everything into my Nico Robin with the Venus. Okay, and I might be able to save it. Probably not, though. I only have 6k counter in hand. That's not a lot, right? However, next turn, they have to somehow, after doing everything we just said, they're going to have to somehow find a way to survive with my leader attack, the Basil Hawkins attack, and a double Jory Bonney, one of which is going to eat their life up. So they're in a very tough spot right now. Okay, let's see how this game plays out. But let me just give you a spoiler right now, guys. They do not play out the 10 cost, and they just did another top 5 search with the St. J. Garcia Saturn. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe they're only running 2 or 3 of the 10 cost Elder card in the deck. So there we go. They do the 7k into 4. I could have gotten out of that, guys, but I don't think it would have been the right call. They swing in for 6. We get out of it. Well, now the game's just over, right? Since they don't have any blockers, we're going to use the Bonney to eat their last life. We swing for 5. We swing for 7. And then we're going to swing for 7, 10, 10. There's no way to get out of this, guys. Just mathematically, it's impossible. Okay, and watch this. Their final card is a 10 cost Elders. A 10 cost 5 Elders. So again, not exactly sure what happened there. I still don't think they would be able to pull off the win by playing that card out, but it would have at least been way, way closer. Because remember, guys, when you play this card out, you have to trash a card from your hand. Okay, so you're playing this card out from your hand, and you're trashing a card from your hand. Now, what happens from there? You play out the 5 characters, one of which is going to replace itself immediately by drawing a card, doing a top 5 search, but the other one is going to make you trash a card to KO one of their characters, the Mars, right? So you go -3 in hand. Well, actually, you go -2 in hand, right? Because you play out 3 cards and trash cards, and then you draw 1. So you're going to be -2 in hand afterwards, but you get the 2 blockers, one of which will draw you a card back. So at the end of everything, you end up only being -1 in hand. I just don't know if they would have had enough, though, either way, guys. Because like I said, I mean, it was game over, and I still had 2 attacks left, right? And if they had done things a little bit differently, I guess they could have eaten up some of my board. But as long as I could have survived the crackback, then I think we could have won either way. Who knows? We'll never know. Either way, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. Tough matchup regardless, guys. Against Imu is insanely powerful right now, guys. It's insanely powerful. Okay, now we got a game versus Red Purple Roger. Excuse me. Volume's off. Let's get the speed on 2x, and here we go. Roger's another tough deck, guys. This is another tough game right here, or another tough leader to go against. Okay, and we're going to be going second this time. They're going first, which I think they want to go first to start their Dawn ramp early. We would prefer going first, too, when we can. But that's okay. We're going second. We'll take it. They're going to play out the buggy, ramping. We're going to go ahead and take the first hit, and it's a Sanji trigger. We'll take it every time. Very nice. We're going to play out the Bonney. We're going to attach a Dawn to it, attach 2 Dawn to our leader from the leader effect. We're going to swing 5, and we're going to swing 7. They 1k counter out of that. We're swinging it for 7. They take it. We get to do a draw 2, trash 1, and here we go. We're off to the races. We've got 3 attacking bodies on the board. He's going to go 6 into 5. We're going to 2k counter to protect that card, guys. We want to keep that card on the board. Okay, they use Douglas Bullet and Buggy. Was that a double ramp they just did there, guys? Seems good. Seems good. They're already on 8 Dawn, guys, and we're on 6, and they went first. So we're going to play out the Nico Robin burning. Okay, another massive interaction there, guys. Hang on. This was a very, very big interaction here. Pay close attention to this. Okay, now I'm going to hit play. Watch this. 6 Dawn. I want to be able to use the 3 cost Bonney's effect. So watch how we have to sequence this. Okay, I'm playing out Nico Robin. Pause. 2 things are trying to happen here. We've played out the Nico Robin, and we have 2 things trying to resolve here. The on-play effect of Nico Robin, or the Jory Bonney effect to, excuse me, allowing us to, attach 2 Dawn to a character if we played out a trigger character, right? And that's what we're going to do first. We're going to activate the leader effect first here to attach 2 Dawn to the 3 cost Bonney. Then we're going to burn a life with the on-play effect of the Nico Robin, and then we can go from there. Okay, so here we go. Burned up a life. We get to draw 2, trash 1. And guys, we're swinging all out. Sanji is not a blocker sometimes, guys. I don't know how else to say it because there's so many ways to get around 4 cost and lower blockers right now. You just have to go all in with it. So we're going to swing 5, swing 6. I'm just trying to get them down as low as I can because once they start dropping the big characters, it's big trouble. Okay, they're on a 10 Dawn turn now, but it was their first 10 Dawn turn where they still had to attach a Dawn to their leader. Okay, they're going to swing for, they swing 8 into 5, 6 into 4. I'm just going to let it all go. They swing 9 into 5. I think they could have rested my Nico Robin or maybe only hits a 5 or less. I can't remember. Either way, they attack in the face and we take it. Okay. So now we are going to go ahead and play out the Stussy here. We're going to play a character out from our hand. We're actually going to play out the Lilith to do some searching here. I'm looking for 2K counters at this point because I already have a 9 cost. I already have the 9 cost in hand, right? So we're actually just going to wait on that. Okay, a slight play mistake here in my opinion. I think I should have swung 6 into it, and then I could have gone 8 into face. Either way, I don't think it matters too much. Because if they counter out of the Douglas Bullet, then we go 8 into Douglas Bullet, and it's harder for them to save it. Either way, we get 1 card out of their hand. We get 1 card off the board. We're feeling pretty good about that either way. Okay, and here we go. They slam down the 10 cost Shanks. They're going into my board here. It's gone. I take the 10K hit. They swung out of order, and I will punish them for that. They swing for... So, pause. What am I saying? They should have swung for 7, 9, 12. Instead, they did 9, 12, 7. If they're going to do it like that, then I'm going to use my blocker because they can't punish me with the Shanks afterwards. So we do take those, right? They attacked in for 7 into 5. I can block with a 6 and 2K counter out for only 1 card. Otherwise, it would have taken me 2 cards. Okay, we're on our 10 Dawn turn now. And this is not a good spot to be. Not a great spot to be in, I must say. So we're going to go ahead and play out the Jory Bonney. We still have to stay on tempo or we're just going to lose anyway. So we're going to go ahead and swing 7 into the leader. Now, what do you do in this situation? If you take the hit here, you have to deal with a 10K attack to your leader, which is going to take 2 cards out of hand. But if you counter out, now you have less cards to counter out of my attack into the Rayleigh. So this is actually a devastating position to be in. Okay. They 2K counter out. Okay, well that means I'm going 10 into 9. So now he has to give me a 2K counter that he doesn't have. He only had 2 cards in hand. We're going to pass the turn back. He's up to 3 cards. I have 2 life. I'm sure he has a 10 cost Roger in hand that makes him unblockable. I just assume that naturally now. And then but I still have a blocker. Okay, so 8 into 5. We're going to 2K to get out of that very comfortably. And now we're going to take this hit here. And now we might just have to take this, guys. Okay, 12 into 9. We can get out of that with a bunch of 1K counters here, guys. Okay, we'll take that. We kind of caught a break there. And now we might decide to go for lethal. My opponent might be in trouble here. 11 into 7. If this gets countered, well, pause. How can this get countered? If this can be countered, he will have to have a 1 cost 4K or a 1 cost 3K in hand and then a 2K or whatever. It'll take every card out of his hand is my point, right? Because it will either be a 1 cost 4K plus another counter or a 1 cost 3K plus a 2K counter. That's the only way to get out of this attack. Okay, well, if he gets out of it, then we swing for just a blank 7 and then everything on our leader and everything at face, right? Well, here's the thing. If he takes it, we're just going to have to go all in with Stussy here, right? Because we still have 8 cards left. This is a 6,000 power character because of the Shanks. 8 plus 6 is 14 into 7. Okay, well, 14 into 7 is equally hard to get out of, right? Because even if they have a 1 cost 4K Rad Beam, that puts him at 11, and then he would have to have exactly 2K to get out of it. Okay, so this is my best chance of winning right here. Okay, so here we go. Swing for 11. They take it. All right, well, now we're going to swing for 14 into 7. Like I said, this would cost a 4K, 2K to get out of. He had a 1 cost 3K and a 3K. He was able to get to 13. That was a close one, but we were still able to get there. Good game to my opponent. Roger, very tough leader to deal with right now. Okay, next up, we got a game versus Red Blue Ace. We got the volume off. Let's get the speed on 2X, and here we go. This one's a doozy, guys. This one's a real... what do they call it? A barn burner here. This one's pretty crazy. This one goes the distance, a 20-minute game, okay? So we're going to go ahead and play out Lilith on turn 1. We're going second again. Guys, I would prefer going first, okay? I think people are just, now, other than against Imu, right? Other than against Imu. But here we are going second again. They play out Ezo. They have 2 Ezos on the board here. They play out Notama. They are just fixing their hand, drawing. Here we go. They swing in for 7. We're going to take it. We get a Satori trigger. We will take that. We trash a Kikinoja from hand to play out the Satori. We play out a Satori, or excuse me, a Kikinoja for a turn. We're going to attach 2 onto our leader with the effect, and we're going to swing 7 into 6. They trash I Am Whitebeard from hand to do minus 2,000 my attack, and we pass it back. 7 into 5. We're taking it. We're cycling out the Frankie, and they pass it back after establishing a Marco. We play out Nico Robin. We're burning their life up. Here we go. Swing 6, swing 7. They use an Ezo. See if they can fix their hand a little bit. Okay. And they block. They block right away, guys. Okay, sure. Now we're going to swing for 7 more. They still have their leader effect. They can just trash a card from their hand and go minus 2,000 power to my attack for the battle. Okay, just waiting for our opponent here, guys. They're trying to make up their mind. They have a lot of cards in hand because they're also probably considering taking the card or taking the hit. Oh, wow. They trashed a 10 cost 12K Edward Newgate. So that means their hand is probably pretty stacked. Their hand is probably pretty loaded. Okay, well, here we go. They're on their 8 Dawn turn, or 7 Dawn turn, rather. They're going to play out the Yamato, attaching a free Dawn to their leader, and they're going to smash for 8 into 6. But I'm going to let that happen and gain a life from that. That's fine. I couldn't counter out of it anyway. But now we are on our 8 Dawn turn. Okay? Now, we do probably need to deal with that Yamato if we can. But notice we don't have a 5-cost Nami in hand. We're going to swing for 6 to start this off. Just poke at them, start getting cards out of their hand, or start hitting. They took that hit, guys. That seems a little bit crazy to me. And then they actually cashed in on the Rad Beam, so I swung in for 6 when I shouldn't have, but that's okay. We're going to swing in for 7 afterwards. And if he wants to attack into my Nico Robin, that would probably actually benefit me a little bit. Okay, here we go, guys. What's going on here? Yep, we knew they had I Am Whitebeard, and we knew they had another 10 calls Edward Newgate, because they trashed 2 earlier on. They wouldn't just trash that card unless they had extras in their hand. Okay, and they got rid of their last life card. They're an 8,000 power leader. Technically, this turn they're swinging for 10, and I'm going to lose most of my board there. We're going to lose part of the board there. It is what it is. We finally draw into a Nami, which is really good for us. Okay, but are we going to have time to establish this Nami is the real question. I don't know if we're actually going to have time to do it. Looks like we might do it anyway. We'll play out the Stussy, playing out the Nami, use the Nami effect here, trashing a card from hand to KO that. That was really nice, guys, because it got us down to 3 cards in hand so that we could actually cycle a card with Nami's the second part of her effect. Okay, we're just going to smash in for 8, and we're going to say, hey, it's your turn, bud. Because, I mean, we can't really do anything about this. If we start turning our characters sideways, they're going to start attacking into our characters. They want board control. We currently have board control, even though they have the biggest character on the board. Because look at how wide we are right now. We can swing 5 times when we have 10 Dawn, right? And that's devastating. Even with, look how many cards are in my opponent's hand. They have like 11 cards in hand, 12 cards in hand. Okay, they play out Edward Newgate. They're going to trash the Red Rock from hand. Yeah, that's not going to help them very much against me. And now they're going to attach 2 Dawn to the leader and 2 Dawn to their character. And again, guys, they can't just swing with their blocker. Understand that. They can't attack. If they attack in, first of all, they could give me a trigger body. And that could really, really be dangerous, right? So here we go. We're going to start off with a 6K attack. I'm saying, tell me what, give me whatever information you want to give me here. Okay? So we swing for 6. And I think they're going to counter out of this one. If they start blocking with the Edward Newgates, I can start becoming super aggressive, right? Okay, right here, we're going to attach 2 Dawn to my leader, and watch this, guys. We're going to swing for 7. Okay, let's see what they do. Do they want to turn the Edward Newgate sideways? I think they should here, by the way, now that I've committed Dawn. So let's talk about this real quick. That was a play mistake in my personal opinion. I would say the correct call here is actually to bait me into attacking. So understand me real quick, guys. I swung for 7. That's the biggest attack I have left on the board other than the Jory Bonney, and they have 2 12K blockers. So technically, they should have blocked my leader with one of these Edward Newgates, and then if I swing it with my Bonney, they block with the other Edward Newgate, and now I have to attack with a Stussy, these 2 Stussies. I literally just cannot crack them this turn with that many cards in hand, right? I mean, unless they just have nothing but bricks in hand, who knows? But they still have a blocker. They would only have to get their 1 attack because I can't attack him with Sanji. He's only a 5K. So, and understand what that does, guys. If I overextend like that, guess what? Now he gets to do a crackback into my board. So, okay, here we go. Let's see what they choose to do. They ended up countering like we were saying, and they didn't block with their Edward Newgates at all. Okay, well, now they're going to pay 1, I think, for a Searcher here. Yep, Searcher Ezo. They're going to try to find something to put on the board here. I don't know if they're running the 9-cost Edward Newgate or not, but that would be an incredible turn right here. If they could play out the 9-cost Edward Newgate, just replacing one of these Searchers or these 2Ks on the 2K Otama, that would be really nice for my opponent. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. They still have 9 Dawn left. It's going to take them a little while to figure this out, guys. This is a very tough spot to be in, obviously. Okay, but they have 8 cards in hand, so they should have quite a few options. They should have quite a few options. Yeah, the main thing about using these Edward Newgates, guys, is they're supposed to start paying for themselves more and more over time to where their value is so high. Okay, they play out a Jozu. They're probably going to bounce my Sanji back to hand, and then they can swing 7 into my Nami, maybe. Let's see what they choose to do. They're going to play out an Ezo. Okay, are they going to have to leave 2 Dawn active? That's the question. 7 into 5, awesome. Yep, that was well played. And now they still can't swing with their leader, guys. I mean, they still can't swing with these Newgates, but they should at least be trying to block with them, right? Okay, here we go. I'm going to attach a Dawn to my leader. Just a nice little 6K poke. That's all this is. Nice little 6K poke. I want them to give me as much information as possible. Now, if they turn one of those Edward Newgate sideways, I'm still not going for them. I'm actually just going everything at face. I'm just going to keep smacking into them. Now, right here, I think they probably should counter out of this one. Because I have these other 3 bigger attacks on the board, I think they should actually counter out of this one. But watch what we do here. Watch what we do here, guys. Okay, we play out another Joy Bonney. We're going to attach 2 Dawn to it with our leader's effect, and we're going to smack in for 12. So now they have to give us the Uda blocker, or they have to block with an Edward Newgate and give us a 1K counter from hand. Honestly, they block and give us a 2K. I think they actually should have cashed in on the Uda blocker there well, actually, it wouldn't draw a card, would it? Because that's be a 6,000 power or bigger character, I believe, so never mind. Either way, whatever the case is, we attack in. We got another card from their hand. We'll take it every time. Okay, 10 into 10 will not do. We're going to 1K counter out of that, right? That's not happening. And why didn't we attack with the other characters, guys? Okay, 10 more into 10, we're going to counter out of that. The reason we didn't attack them with these other characters is because they're going to be easier targets to get off the board, like the 2 Stussies and their blockers, by the way. Okay, they play out another blocker Uda, and it's our turn. Okay, well, now we're going to start bringing the pain here a little bit. They're down to 5 cards in hand. So here's a nice little 6K poke. We're going to do some more chip damage here. Chip, 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 chip it away. This is going to cost a card from hand. Every attack needs to cost a card from hand. But here we go, guys. We're actually very excuse me, we're actually very close to having calculated lethal. All right, here we go. Just waiting for my opponent. They're taking a long time. Remember, guys, I watch these on 2x speed, okay? We are on 2x speed right now. We're just waiting for our opponent to make this decision. They have 4 blockers on the board. Maybe it's time to start cashing in on them a little bit. Okay, so we're going to play out the Lilith, and watch this. We're not going to use our leader effect first. We're going to play out the Lilith. We're going to do the top 4 search, and we're going to not use our leader effect on this card. Then we're going to play out the Sanji, and then use our leader effect, and we're swinging in for 12. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. So remember, the first attack was 6. This next one's for 12. Okay, well now I'm going in for, it looks like I'm going to go in for 12. Here's why. Okay, let me see what he does here. He did the right play. So if he had chosen to use one of his Newgates, we actually would have swung for 8K and 8K to finish out the turn. That would have taken a block from a Newgate. It would have taken the Uda off the board, and it would have just put him in this position where it's like, I have 4 life. You literally can't crack me down fast enough, and I have enough counter in my hand to even get around the 10 cost Goldie Roger, because that would be 5 attacks, but he's going to swing for 6 and then 7. Well, I can just 1K to get out of that. Right. In fact, I could take the first hit to force another attack into me to save my board a little bit, and then I could actually 1K to get out of that. Right. So that's the whole logic there. He can't just, go all out here. Okay. So they end up blocking with the Uda, so we're going to pass the turn now. Just going to pass it. We're not swinging with the we're not going to swing with the Stussies. We have a blocker Sanji on the board and everything. They're going to play out Notama. Okay, that's a 2K counter. They're drawing 2 to trash 1. They're trying to fix their hand. They are desperately searching for answers right now. We have them up against the ropes. We are the aggressor in this match. That's why they can't even attack in with these Edward Newgates. But I think they need to block a little bit more aggressively with them. Okay, 10. All right, here's another 1K. Guys, they're not getting this. They searched up a 4-cost Marco, by the way. I do remember that, and they're about to play that out over the Izo, or actually maybe even over the Otama. So that means they can't attack anymore this turn. And they don't want to attack in with the Ace, because I can just block that for free with the Stussie. Okay, they play out the Marco. We have the 5-cost Nami in hand. That card is going bye-bye. Okay, attacking for 6 here to get a card out of hand. I believe we have calculated lethal here. Watch this. We're going to swing for 6. Okay. Just waiting for our opponent. They're going to cash in on the Izo, and I think they used the Marco right away. This kind of annoyed me, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so they do that. All right, well, that's unfortunate. Well, now I have to do a little bit of math here. We have to do a little bit of math, but I think it comes out to where we have to swing 8, 10, 10, 8, 8. Watch this. 8 right here. Actually, it'll be 8, 10, 10, 10, 10. Excuse me. So 8K into 4 10Ks. There's basically no way out of this, because let's just say 2 attacks get dealt with by the Edward Newgates, and he has 1. Okay, here we go. So he's going to use an event here. He's trashing the leader effect, you go -2, and then 1K there. Now we're swinging for 10. He only has 4 cards left in hand and 1 Dawn. All right, here we go. Just waiting on our opponent here. I mean, they have to have a 1 cost in hand, right? Otherwise, this is going to get, what, 2 or 3 cards out of their hand? Rad Beam and a 1K. 10K more. 10K more. And now it's just math. They only have 2 cards in hand. Even if they are both 2Ks, they can't get out of it. Okay, either way, good game to my opponent. That was some fun stuff there. Red-Blue Ace is no joke. That is a very tough matchup right now. All right, now we got one more game. This is more of a bonus game. This is a fun one here, okay? We got a game versus Blue-Yellow Ace, okay? Yellow Bonney versus Blue-Yellow Ace. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. I have to tell you guys right now, I do believe that Bonney's somewhat of a counter to our poor guy, Blue-Yellow Ace here. Okay, so we get to go first now, too. And we're getting to go first. Let's go. And Blue-Yellow Ace typically wants to go second. Very nice. They're going to attach 2 to their leader, and I think they're going to use their leader effect right away. They're going to start cycling cards to the bottom of the deck. Okay. And we played out a Lilith on turn 1. All right, here we go. It looks like they passed the turn back. I'm just waiting. Not sure what's going on. Maybe I didn't see that he passed the turn back yet. All right, and now I'm going to play out a Lilith on my turn 2. And then we're going to do a top 5 search for a 9-cost Jewelry Bonney. Seems good. And then we're going to swing for 7 with our leader, attaching 2 for free with the leader effect. Okay, they actually had a Narukabura Arrow trigger there to trash 2 cards and gain a life. Wow. Have not seen that card in a minute. Very cool. Very interesting tech there. They swing in for 7. We're going to trash a Kikinoja from hand because we have 2 in hand anyway to play out a Sanji. And now this next turn, we're going to be able to get super aggressive on the board here. Okay, so let's see. We had... So hear me out, guys. We actually had a pretty interesting option here. I'll explain in just a second. So we swing 6, swing 7, playing out the Kikinojo, pause. What we actually could have done there is attached, instead of attaching a Dawn to Sanji, right? We could have attached a Dawn to the Lilith, and then played out the Kikinojo, attaching 2 more to Lilith, and then we could have swung 3 times, demanding 3 answers from their hand instead of just 2. Okay, so that was an option we had. Either way, I think we were able to take 2 life off of them this turn, so that's pretty good regardless. Okay, let's see what happens here. All right, so they go ahead and use a... Hang on a second. Pause. What just happened there? Let me hit play. I missed something. They gained a life. Oh, it was another trigger. Guys, it was another trigger to gain a life. How crazy is that? I think it was another Narukabura Arrow. And when did they use this Zeus? We're going to have to look at that in a second here. We're going to have to look at that Zeus in just a second here. Okay, they play out, they use the leader effect to add a card to the top of their life. They gain the life back with Viola. Very solid. Very good stuff here. We're going to play out the Nico Robin to burn up a life, and then we're going to swing for 7, and then 7. He's going to use another Narukabura Arrow, and then we're going to swing it for 7. They use the blocker. They're down to 2 life. They have 4 cards left in hand. They're in a tough spot because our board keeps getting bigger and bigger. Now, one thing that's unfortunate about the 5-cost 7K PRB02 Ace in their life is it's not great to play off the top of your life because you play it out, oh, there's no cards on the top of your life, so you can't do the effect. There's no face-up card on the top of your life, so you can't do the effect. Okay, so they attack in. We're at, I think they were able to get rid of one of our characters or something. Wait, what just happened there? Hang on, guys. Pause. Sorry, guys. We got to go back. They attacked into my Kikinojo, looks like. Okay, so let's see. Yep, they're going to attack 9 into 6. We just let it go. We go up a life, and now we're at 5 life. Now it's our turn. Guys, look at our hand. Like, we have so many ways to hurt them right here. We have so many ways to just burn their life up. We're going to go and play out the Jewelry Bonney. This is going to allow us to attach 2 Dawn to our leader and burn 1 of their life. We're going to swing 7. We're going to... Oh, well, they are a 7K leader, to be fair. They're going to 1K counter out of that. Then we'll swing for 10. They'll probably have to take this. Nope, they had double 2K in hand. Very nice. And, yeah, now it's their turn. They attach 2 Dawn to their leader. They find a 5-cost card. But what are they going to do in this situation, guys? I have another Bonney in my hand, and I have a Eustace Captain Kidd. I have 2 ways to stay very aggressive here. Okay, 10 into 10. We're not going to let that go for that. 10 more into 10. Again, excuse me, we had just enough to get out of that. 5 into 5, we'll take that. We get a Neko Mamushi trigger. Just adds insult to injury at this point. They're going to go ahead and concede there. Good game to my opponent. They were in such a tough spot at that point, guys. This next turn, we're literally... They couldn't even gain the life at the end of the turn, by the way. So this next turn, we're just going to play out another Jewelry Bonney. They can have that extra card to their life, or from their... You know, take the card from their life to their hand, because we're going to swing in for what would have been, let's see, probably 5, 7, 10, 11 or something. Or no, 7... It'd be 6, 7, 10, 11. Oh, and we had the Nekomamushi attack. So it would have been 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. There's just no way out of it. Good game to my opponent. Good game to all my opponents. Those were some really fun ones today. Okay. Always love to see Blue Yellow Ace in action. Alright guys, so here's the list. I will say in some of my testing it would have been nice to have access to some type of one-cost event. Just like a nice little one-cost answer in my hand. And I think El Thor might be the way to go. Because notice, it's a one-cost counter. Give up to one of your leader or characters plus 2,000 power for this battle. Then if your opponent has 2 or less life, give that card an additional plus 2,000 power. And we're a very aggressive deck that burns life. I mean, if we're not burning life, that's good, because then we're able to use Nico Robin later to burn life, or the Useless Captain Kidd, or Bonney, or whatever. And I think this El Thor is actually just, like, really, really solid for us. It has a trigger, so we can search this up with Lilith. It says, yeah, this can reveal any card with a trigger. It doesn't have to just be a character. So we can search El Thor up with the one cost Lilith. It has a trigger, like we're saying, which is just good anyway, you know, if we hit it from life. But then just having access to a one-cost 4K, that is just really, really good. Another option is like what we just saw with Narukabura Arrow. That is a whole nother option we have. Let me find that card real quick. Here it is. This card has a trigger as well. Neither of these cards would be searchable by the 3-cost Lilith, but they're still very strong effects. This one can allow us to gain a life with the trigger, which could come in very clutch, because we are running quite a few bricks in here, guys. We have 4 of the 3-cost Lilith. We have 4 Kikanojo. We have 4 Jewelry Bonney, and then 5 of these others here with Stussy and Eustace Kidd. So we have 4, 8, 12, 17 bricks in the deck. So having access to something like this Narukabura Arrow could be really good. And actually, maybe this will be the way to go, because that is minus 3,000 power for the turn. So this could actually be very good into something like Green Zoro. Okay, so I have to say, man, big shout out to that last player we saw, the Blue Yellow Ace player. This could be a really nice tech card against something like Green Zoro. Now, notice this. It does say if you have 2 or less cards in your life area, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 3,000 power during this turn as a counter. So you do have to be at 2 or less life, but the trigger is just trash 2 cards from your hand. You may place up to 1 card from the top of your deck at the top of your life cards. So that doesn't matter what life you're at. You just have to trash 2 cards from your hand. And like I said, we have enough bricks. We could probably make that happen. And then last but not least, we do have access to something like You're the One Who Should Disappear. We can filter out some of our bricks with this and get a 3K counter out of it. So that's not bad either. We do have access to Please Save Me. I think it's called I Request Our Help is the official translation of this one. This one's good as well. I don't think it's quite as good as Narukabura Arrow's effect, but the trigger, I think, might be a little bit better in certain situations. It can play up to 1 cost 5 or lower egghead type character card from our trash. So maybe from here, what we could, possibly do is add the 5 cost Shaka to the list. Now, hear me out. I understand the trigger will not let us... We can't play this card out from our life because our leader's not Vegapunk. However, this is still a 5-cost character, egghead character with a trigger. So what we can do is, first of all, we can search it up with both of these Liliths, because this searches up a card with trigger, and this Lilith searches up an egghead. But here's the nice part, is we can play that card out with Stussy, right? We can play out Shaka with Stussy, because it says play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less with a trigger from your hand. So we can actually play out something like the 5-cost Shaka from our hand. And it's a 1K counter. And if we start going something like I Request Our Help, we can actually use, if we get the trigger, we can even pull something like that out of our trash. We do have some decent targets for the trigger on I Request Our Help. We have this Nami. Remember, guys, this is an egghead character. We have access to Frankie, not the best option. And then we have these other, the Liliths and the Jory Bonnies. So it would be nice if we want to go with a 1-cost 3K, if we're really set on using I Request Our Help, because this is searchable by both of our searchers. Then maybe we should really strongly consider adding more 5-cost egghead targets to the deck. Which would also help our going first curve, right? Because 5 cost, we have the Nami, which is nice, but sometimes we don't need this card. So it'd be nice to have another option. Maybe we can develop a 5-cost Shaka. That could be really good. As far as stages go, I guess we could, excuse me, I guess we could technically run Egghead the stage. Now, notice what it says. It's a 2-cost stage, trigger, play this card. So this would be searchable by both of our searchers as well. End of your turn, if your life is 3 or less, set up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or less and with the egghead type as active. So could be something there. I'm not a huge fan of this idea within Jory Bonney. I think within Vegapunk it's incredible, but within Jory Bonney, you know, I don't think it's quite good enough. Let me just say that. Not quite good enough in my personal opinion, but there's at least some options there for people to mess with if they're interested in, or if they're interested. So that's about it, guys. I'm trying to think. I'm still really considering this boa here. I think this could be very good. It's too bad they didn't choose a character that was what's it called, Egghead, because that could have just been perfect. But either way, we can search this up with one of our searchers with the Lilith, and we can cheat it out with Stussy, right? Because it says if your leader has the Egghead type. Our character doesn't have to be an Egghead type. It just has to be a 5 cost or lower character with a trigger. So we can go, okay, develop Stussy, cheating out the Boa Hancock, and now all of a sudden we have 2 7Ks on the board, and we shut down an attack for the turn. Could be very, very strong. And like I was saying earlier, we do have enough bricks. We can trash some of these cards in our hand. Now, unfortunately, in the case of this card, you have to trash a card with trigger from your hand. So that means some of our bricks we can't trash. Like we can't trash a Stussy or a Eustace Captain Kidd. But everything else we can. Everything else we can. Like this Lilith or this Jory Bonney, if we already have enough of this on the board or in our hand, and if we wanted to trash this, we can still, or excuse me, if we needed to trash something from the Boa's effect, we could still potentially trash Jory Bonney or the Lilith. So, that works. What else? And actually the Kikanojo as well, right? Yeah, it's just searches for a card with trigger, and then up to one of your opponent's rested leader or characters, other than Luffy, cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. The trigger's nice too. The trigger's very nice. Okay, well that's about it, guys. That's all I have. If you guys have been messing around with any other experimental versions of the deck, any cards, I have seen a few people running this card, this Otama. I do think this is a great 2K counter. And it does have a trigger to rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a 4 or less. The activate main, rest this character and add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life crest to your hand, and then up to one of your leader or characters gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. So that could be very solid as well. All right, well guys, that's all I got for you today. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Hope y'all enjoyed this. As far as this leader goes in general, I think Bonney's pretty solid, but I think it's going to struggle, into certain matchups for sure. Against very good red-blue Ace players, against very good red-purple Roger, and against Imu if they get to go second for sure. Those are all just going to be extremely tough matchups because they're just so strong in general. So we'll have to see what happens. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Let me get the outro page on here. Okay, there we go. Hey guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my channel, if you're using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're supporting me through Patreon or PayPal through donations, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, or part of the Discord community, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all are awesome. This community is incredible. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.